want to introduce a couple of our first team players to you. Let them talk a little bit about their experience growing up in Southern California, playing college soccer, and then getting into the Galaxy through Galaxy 2 and working their way up to the first team. Both players took slightly different routes to get into our club, but they've both, over time, proven themselves and worked their way up to the first team, and now are big-time contributors for our first team.
So I grew up in Irvine. I played for Irvine Strikers, if you guys know the club at all. I played for them from under 9s to under 19s. Started out like really well as a kid, and then once I kind of hit your guys' age group, like 14, 15 or so, I was kind of like a bench warmer. I didn't really play that much. All the other kids kind of hit puberty before me, so I was kind of small, and that kind of forced me to change my game. I had to think quicker. I had to play 1 and 2 touch, or else I would just get bossed off the ball. And then once I kind of grew into my body, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. So then I was just as big as fast as everyone else. And like kind of on that note, when I was in your guys' spot, I didn't think I was going to make it to even college soccer, but I just kept playing, kept grinding, kept training, and made that jump, and then started playing really well in college, and then made the jump to the pros, made it to Galaxy 2, and then now on the first team contributing with solid minutes. So never think you're out, things might look down. Like I was a bench warmer when I was 14, 15, even on my club team, but just kept fighting and just slowly make it there. So
can you talk a little bit about how you went from high school to college, how you got recruited, and what the difference in like speed of play was?
Yeah, so I got recruited, I played at the University of San Francisco. I got recruited at one of the showcases, like an academy showcase in Florida. It was the only offer I had, so I kind of had to go there, but loved the school, loved everything about it. It's just a completely different kind of game, college soccer, even compared to from club to college. I'd say club soccer might be more similar to pro soccer. College is kind of just kick the ball long and just be aggressive, all that stuff. So you have to kind of find a college that suits your play style. If you're better with your feet or you want to play more soccer, then you try to find the college right for you if the coach likes playing that way. And if you're just a big guy and you want to bash around and hurt people, then there's colleges that definitely play that kind of soccer. So when you're picking your college, really make sure it's the type of soccer you like to play, and that'll suit your game so you can get the most minutes as possible.
Yeah, so I'm similar to Dave. I grew up in Los Angeles, so playing for my local team now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I played club since I was probably 8 years old. Played up 2 years for a while, which was similar to him. I was one of the smaller guys, so I had to work on my game in different ways. Eventually dropped down, play more my age group, and that helped as I was going into high school and college, helped with recruiting and stuff like that. I never made ODP or anything like that, so I got overlooked by a lot of the big-time schools. But I did end up getting a chance with San Diego State just over here, and that's where I went to college. Played 4 years there, 4 years as a starter, had a good career, and that led to me luckily getting drafted by Chivas USA back in the day, who is no longer around. And it wasn't just easy from there. I actually got cut and bounced around a couple teams for the next 3 years. Went to Seattle for half a season, dropped down to USL, and played with Wilmington in North Carolina, which I don't even know if you guys have probably heard of. And they're also not a team anymore. I just put teams out of business, I guess. But all these places, were stepping stones to get me in the right place, and just had to persevere and know that I was able to do it. And it eventually led me over to Galaxy 2 when they started their program. Played there 2 years, captained the side once, and then got a chance with the first team last year, and played quite a bit last year, and now playing this year. So that's a little bit of my story.
Can you talk a little bit about the transition and how Galaxy 2 kind of works with the first team, what that looks like on a weekly basis, and then what guys that are kind of going up or down, what they're doing, what kind of preparation they're doing to earn a spot?
Yeah, so with me and my story, like I obviously bounced around a couple teams, and for me, I obviously wasn't ready at 21 coming out of college to play professionally. It took me a little longer, and that's kind of what we have at Galaxy 2. It's guys like your age and just a little older that are leaving our academy, maybe leaving college. They're stepping in, and it's a totally different game than the college game. Like you said, college is, you're making 10 subs a game or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's getting as much as they can out of each player physically, and they kind of forget about the mind game and the technical game sometimes. And it's tough in college, but with Galaxy 2, we implement the same program that we have in the first team. So the coaches teach the same way, the style's the same way, so that they're, grooming them so they're ready to come up to the first team. And that's something you've probably seen with us too and other players that are now on the team. There's probably like 8 or so guys, maybe even more, that have come through Galaxy 2 and maybe weren't ready originally to get the minutes with the first team, but now can definitely be contributors to the first team. So it's definitely helped.